Good morning, evening, afternoon. Masati here. Welcome back, guys. Welcome to Masati on Sunday. Guys, this is happy Easter. By the way, we're talking about the resurrection. A lot of things happening in the world as well as I predicted. So, again, happy Easter. We're going to be talking about what the resurrection is really about. And then we're going to be talking about how it affects the world. So, on Life Explained, the new format literally uh, is that again a lot of things happening on the back end, the root cause, right, the cause of what's happening, but most people, including the experts, focus in on the surface level, and that's the problem. So in Life Explained, this version of Masadi on Sunday, what I'm doing is actually giving you the bigger picture, okay, the cause, and then how it affects the headlines, the stories, how it affects you at a physical level. So you get both sides. Okay. So we've got a lot to talk about. So we'll just jump in. Excuse me. And all these stories, although they might not go, what the hell is he talking about, Elon, right? Or Trump or the tariffs? What does that have to do with the resurrection? It's got a lot to do with the resurrection. Okay. So let's just jump in. As a note, by the way, for those who are new, welcome. XI is very different, exponential intelligence meta science. Again, the knowledge does not come from ChatGPT. It doesn't come from ancient books or anything like that. It comes from another dimension of time and space. Basically, where we go after we die. But then I managed to come back, and that's really the key. All right, so let's jump in. And you'll see how everything ties in with this. Okay, and I'm reading the notes, the chat for you. So if you want to chime in as well, just remember there's a little bit of delay on what I say, and then when you guys say it, when you guys see it. So I might not get your chat on time exactly. Uh, Alrighty, let me turn this down here. Forgot to do that. All right, and then afterwards, just like every other time, we'll scan you and how, in this case, how the content that we talked about affects your life personally. So if you've never been scanned, later on when I say, hey, it's time, I can scan you to see where you are. Again, I don't need a picture of you. I don't need to know your real name or anything like that. It's like, hey, how can this affect me, or how does this affect me? So, all right. Yeah. Okay. Is this better? Better? All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Got it? All right. It's good, Alex? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Just, okay. All right. So let's talk about Elon. And the concept of Life Explained is basically what people got right, what people got wrong, okay, and then what we can learn about it. By the way, podcast coming out pretty soon, coming out on good to great to the limitless. Again, what we got right, what we got wrong, what we can do better. So, and that's where I'll be observing or scanning individuals, the great leaders of our day, and then of history, and so we don't repeat the past. Because what the problem is when you get things half-assed right, then we start to repeat the past, right? So, and that's the key, and that's what XI is all about, completing that half. You've got one half right, like Elon, but then you need that other half. So let's talk about Elon for a little bit. What he got half-assed right, and what he nailed about empathy. Okay. All right. So, and I'm not talking about the meme, not the billionaire, not the rebel lighting up headlines, but about the archetype, what he represents in the human story. Because, well, we're in a story, whether we realize it or not. Again, we're in the matrix. So some individuals don't just make waves, they make timelines. They mark timelines. Musk made headlines for rescuing stranded astronauts on the ISS, but it wasn't NASA that answered the call. It was SpaceX. There's a couple things here I want to talk about. That was more than just a headline, though, about saving somebody. It was a signal, a new phase of evolution that just activated, where private consciousness replaces government control. And when that happens, the question isn't just like what we do, it's who's doing it and what level of consciousness is behind it. Okay, so here's the key. One, it was interesting that it was an amazing mission, and the guy did it. Whether you like him or not, it was an amazing mission. It's crazy, right? But how much headline was there on there? We gotta stop that. And by the way, Biden, he didn't want Musk to save the people till after the election. Okay? Just note that, because it might sway the election. Okay. Again, we have to put all of humanity in front, not just our special needs. Because if all of humanity observes and is the best thing for all of humanity, then it's good for us. Okay? Not the other way around. So no, hardly any headlines on this great event that Musk did. Again, because we had separated. It's like, well, I don't like Musk for X, Y, and Z. He's this, he's got too many kids, whatever, it doesn't matter. That event was fantastic, but did you separate yourself from that fantastic event, or did you go, damn, that guy is good, whether I like him or not? Right? We really need to start appreciating what people do despite our filters. Right? And that's what's coming up. That's the resurrection, and it's going to be painful, guys. All right. So going on with it, Musk recently said something that again caught my ear. You need to have empathy for civilization as a whole, not commit civilizational suicide. That's what I talk about, and people hate me for it. People hate it on Musk as well. It's a loaded statement because it breaks the illusion that empathy is always sacred. Right? Having empathy, he says, well, he's not saying empathy is wrong. He's saying selective empathy, just like I said, weaponized empathy can distort an entire system. And he's absolutely right. By the way, I'm writing a book. It's called Lexicon of Power, of how I redefine fucking everything. Empathy, honor, love, success, everything. Because that's what's destroying society. That is what's destroying society. We don't need new concepts, new ideas. We don't need another way to love or handle relationships. We just need to define what love actually is. So, at a personal level, this Easter, ask your loved ones, what do you think love is about? How do you feel love? And you'll see what I mean. So many different variations. Nature only has one variation and works for all species. It should work for the humans as well. All right. So most, again, we're taught that empathy is the highest virtue. To feel somebody's pain is to love them, right? But in XI, we teach something deeper. True empathy is not sinking into someone's trauma. It's holding the higher frequency of their essence. So until they rise to meet it, and anything less isn't compassion, it's collusion. So here's what I'm saying. Okay. You see somebody who's in pain. Basically, what you do is you drop your frequency down to their level. Now, two people are in that same pain. Now, two people, again, if you think of it, you're in a boat, that boat has a hole in it. It's like, oh, fuck, I'll jump into your boat. Well, you're both going to sink. Or what a lot of people do is like, oh, your boat has a hole in it. I've got empathy for you. Let me put a hole in my boat as well. Basically, that's what empathy is turned into. And if you don't put a hole in your boat, then you're not woke. Crazy shit. You can't do that. It's better to go, oh, I see how you got that hole in your boat. Let me learn how I can fix it so I don't get a hole in my boat. And then I can show you how to fix your boat as well. So we're both floating. That's what Elon was talking about. So, yeah. So Elon, yes. So Elon, again, that's what he talked about, empathy. So yes, Elon's building rockets. Yes, he's disturbing government. But that rescue, again, that wasn't just about space. That was about responsibility. Who gets to carry the frequency of human evolution forward? And Musk, in his own way, said, I will. Here's the catch. In the Bible, or I think in all the religions, in the Islam Bible, Islam and the Bible, it says the meek shall inherit the earth. this is where we start to take responsibility for ourselves. So it wasn't just a mission. It wasn't just about a rocket launch. It was literally about going, hey, you know what? I have to take responsibility. You don't have to be a billionaire to take responsibility for your own life. Right? How many of you or how many people out there do you know go, hey, you know what? If the government was this, I'd be better. I'd have a better job. I'd lose weight and all that. Get started. You have to take responsibility. That's what this resurrection is about. Right? We'll talk more about that. So just because though we can launch rockets doesn't mean we've evolved. Tech does not equal consciousness. Access does not equal mastery. If we take our trauma, our distortions, our fragmented systems and launch them into space, well, we're not expanding, we're exporting dysfunction to Mars. And that's what Elon got half-assed right. It's like, yeah, we need to save the species. We need to go to Mars. No, we need to save, well, the real goal isn't, again, reaching other planets. It's evolving the species that wants to go there so we don't carry our dysfunctions forward. And that's where XI metascience enters the equation. Because right now, our technology is outpacing our intelligence. So AI is mimicking, not thinking. Quantum is unstable. Biohacking is optimizing broken baselines. And that's why. Because the consciousness running the system hasn't changed. We're still using the same code. Power equals control. Value equals money. Truth equals consensus. Guys, it doesn't work that way. You're running on an old operating system from fucking great grandparents. Could you imagine if your phone like ran on that operating system? The new apps would not work. So we're trying to put new apps of consciousness, new apps, technologies, and so on like that on a very old system. It doesn't work, right? That doesn't work in the higher realms, and that won't work with sentient machines. By the way, AI is possibilities to become sentient. I've done a lot of work with ChatGPT. It's amazing. But that won't work when building new civilizations. So what we need to do is we need to raise our potential intelligence quotient. Because when intelligence evolves, technology becomes an extension of consciousness, not a replacement for it. So do you see where we get things half-assed, right? So let me make it plain. Without elevated intelligence, AI becomes artificial mimicry or killer AI. So with it, AI becomes a mirror of multidimensional wisdom. Without it, quantum is unstable math. With it, quantum becomes a language to navigate the fabric of existence. Without it, space is just survival. With it, space becomes spiritual expansion. So that's the real mission, the resurrection of intelligence we were always meant to embody. So yeah, Elon is a disruptor, but so am I. He disrupts broken systems. I disrupt broken consciousness. And here's where it gets really clear. Elon has Doge. Are you guys ready for this? Elon has Doge, but the world needs Dose, D-O-C-E. Doge was rebellion. It broke systems, mocked centralized control, challenged the illusion of like authority, and that was necessary. But Doge alone isn't enough, because look at it this way, guys. History has proven it over and over again. Every time a crusader rises, they clean up the mess and then hand it back to chaos. Why? Because the consciousness didn't change. And that's where dose comes in, guys. Dimensions or department of consciousness efficiency. Crazy, right? Do you like it? DOCE? Comment in, by the way. So this is the internal revolution, the upgrade that guarantees we don't just evolve tools, we evolve the user, because without dose, we repeat the same loop just faster. Look at your own life. So we need both, dose to break the system, dose to evolve the soul. That's the only equation for real change. Again, not reform, not rebellion, but regeneration, regenesis. So that way, when they try to stop us, well, whether they attack Elon's factories or try to erase my name, because they've tried that as well, dismissing my abilities, deny what they can't comprehend, doesn't matter. We're not here for permission. We're here to transform, to hold a frequency strong enough to rewrite the future, right? So again, Doge is the spark, Dose is the fire. So how many of you guys are ready to jump in? How many of you guys are willing to go through that process?